Because they're like the best.
10 years ago, Kate Robson gave birth to her first child at only 25 weeks and 6 days gestation. Little Maggie was born a mere 500 grams. Maggie overcame the odds, and the entire experience led Robson to a career championing premature babies and their families.
Be prepared for extreme cuteness.
Now?
She's at 37 weeks.
No, at pounds?
Oh, she's now 4 pounds, 8 ounces.
And she was born at?
25 plus 6.
That's same as Maggie. So, oh my goodness, look at you. So, how are things going? She's so big now.
I know, she's getting there. Waiting to go home. Just starting bottle feeding.
Oh, good girl. You're so clever. And tired. And tired. Well, that's, the feeding is, it's the sort of the last step. It feels like the biggest step. But she'll figure it out. I came to the hospital and they did an ultrasound and they told me that she was going to have to be delivered because she was in trouble. So it happened really fast. And that's how a lot of parents get that information. They think everything's fine and then suddenly it isn't. And so on the one hand, you know, your baby's born and that's a cause for joy, but it's also really frightening because you have no idea what's going to happen. So there are some things that can make it a bit easier, knowing that you're in the right place. And this hospital, they're really, really good at taking care of very small babies. So that was a comfort to us, being surrounded by wonderful people and getting support from other parents. That's another thing that really helped. The support you get from other parents, you know, support from nurses and doctors is vital, but parents make a difference, they really do. But to think that I would have a baby at 25 weeks was really scary. I just had no idea that I had no idea that this whole world even existed. So it happened really quickly, and then suddenly I had this 1-pound baby, and she didn't even really, I mean, she looked like a baby kind of, but she was so small. And she was on a ventilator at first that it made her shake. She was like a little leaf in the wind. And I loved her, but I didn't know how to love her, because I couldn't do those things like pick her up and change her diaper and give her baths. You know, I couldn't do any of those things. So I had to be taught, you know, by the team, by the people around me, how to be her mother. And I'm very grateful to them for doing that for me and helping me feel like a mother even in those first days. Yeah, so I started volunteering in the hospital probably when Maggie was a couple years old, and then that turned into a job. So for 5 years I've been working here. And what I'm trying to do is give back. Like when I was in the hospital, I got wonderful support from other parents, and from the nurses and from the doctors. And so I try and take all those gifts that were given me and sort of, you know, in turn, hand them over to the parents who are here now. And then also I get a lot from them. Like I meet these wonderful people, and we develop these wonderful friendships. And this is a very transformative place to be. I feel very lucky, not just to have had a baby here, but to work here. It's a really, really great place to be. The kids are great. They both had rocky starts, Maggie a bit more so than Grace, but they've done really well. They're really happy kids. They have amazing strengths. Both of them have run into some obstacles. Maggie especially, she's that typical preterm survivor. She's run into some school challenges. We've been really lucky because we've had amazing support from the school and from our follow-up clinic. But I would say even with all the challenges that they both faced, I wouldn't trade them in. So one thing I would like all parents of NICU babies to know is that even though things can look really dire and they can be really scary, there's always something to be hopeful about. There's always reason for hope. Hope is never ridiculous.
I'm Irene Tomatis for the Toronto Sun.